It is completely undeniable that we're having a crisis of masculinity in 2023, and there are a lack of role models, a lack of good masculine role models in 2023, as has been shown by the rise of Andrew Tate, right? Like there's just such a lack of role models that someone like Andrew Tate has become, the role model for young men, and it's absolutely sad. And while that is like a valuable determination to make, it is important to realize that a lot of us young men need to become our own role models in one way or another, right? Before we look out to the world, and it is important to look out to the world for masculine role models to be like, okay, this is someone I want to model myself on. I want to take the traits from this person and instill them in myself. A lot of being a man is having your own backbone, right? We can't just completely rely on someone else to come and tell us that, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Especially if you're trying to become someone successful in real life. Like you need to be able to tell yourself every single day, right, that I need to do this because of this reason. I'm going to do this in spite of how I feel, right? I mean, I can use a football analogy, right? It's a team sport, so you have a captain who's going to like keep riling up the team and everything. But at the same time, like each player they need to rile themselves up. Like they need to find something within themselves that's going to force them to keep working and keep working. Now, I think I'm gonna use that I think is really important for young men our age, especially if you're around like my age. I'm 21, right? We're in that period where you're transitioning from like a boy, a teenager, to being like a full-on man, right? You realize like first of all, you realize people don't really take you that seriously, and if you are someone that wants to become someone respectable, it must piss you off. Like it pisses me off when I just see like certain people like don't take me seriously, like my parents. I mean, my parents are fine, like like just other older people, like they just don't take me seriously, like they see you as like a kid, and it's fine. I am a kid in comparison to them, but it still kind of pisses me off. Like I want to be like a man, like I want to be seen as a man, and I want to have those characteristics, and they're just certain things I look at in my life, and I'm like, I really need to like step up, right? You'll realize that you need to build your own backbone, like to be able to like speak out for yourself, to be able to act a certain way, just do certain things that kids don't do, and you need to do that yourself. Like no amount of role models, no amount of positive masculine role models are going to get that out of you. Like you need to decide yourself one day that I need to do this. So that's why it's important to be a leader in your own life. Now, how are you going to do this, right? And I think it's quite simple. It's difficult to implement, but it's simple in terms of like just knowing what to do. You need to like set out like who you want to be, and again, as we said, like if you're trying to become a leader in your own life, it's important that you look at yourself. Like I know something I'd love to do was like look at who I'd be in like 10 years. When I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm this like man that I look up to. I'm like, I mean, when I picture that guy, if I'm to draw up that person who I want to be, I know what characteristics he has, I know like what he looks like, I know like the type of things you do in each situation, and you need to do something similar for yourself. You need to draw up that person in your mind, you 10 years from now, your ideal self, right? Because you need something to aim at. Okay, if you don't have like a direction, or you don't have anything to aim at, you're just going in all different directions. And this is why it's easy for someone like Andrew Tate to come in and just steer people one way, and then you have the liberal media steering people the other way, and it's very easy for you to just get lost in all of this crap, right? You need to have like something to aim at, and it's like the simplest thing is like, who do I want to be 10 years from now? And because it's someone you're building from scratch, like 10 years from now, you can take characteristics from like your role models that you do like. Okay, like say for example, you like Cristiano Ronaldo. You're like, oh, I want to be like as excellent as he is, right? Like I want to be a walking work of art the way he is. Like I want to be like motivational, like that sort of thing. You're like, okay, he's gonna be like that. Or you want to take this trait, or be like, oh, I love the way Jordan Peterson speaks. Like I want him to speak like that, right? I want him to be sharp with his words like that, brave, right? You put that onto him, and you're like, this is the kind of person I roughly want him to look like this. I roughly want him to have these kind of characteristics, right? And once you've built up that image of who you want to be in 10 years, then you start thinking for yourself. It's like, okay, in order for me to become that person in 10 years, what do I need to be doing now, right? And once you start doing that, it's like, okay, when you're in difficult situations in your life, you're like, what would me 10 years from now, or my ideal self, what would he do in this situation? How would he carry himself in this situation, right? And it's almost like an alter ego kind of thing, and it works just like an alter ego, to be honest, except it's different because it's still you, right? But it's like oh, all of a sudden, if you're walking into like a board meeting or something, or something that requires, you know, you to actually like present something properly, you need to be confident, can't mumble over your words. It's like, what would ideal me in 10 years from now do in this situation? And all of a sudden, it's like the pressure's kind of taken off, right? It's like an alter ego. It's like, oh, he would do this, and then you go and you do that, right? So yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say in this video. While it's important for us to recognize that we do need like masculine role models, young men also need to bring something up within themselves. You need to bring something up in yourself and be like, I need to build my own backbone. I need to become someone that does this, this, and that. And the way you do that is like building up your ideal self, and then you say like, what would he do in this situation and in that situation? But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, see you boys.